reports that you were considering merging the United States Postal Service with the Commerce Department. Can you elaborate on if this is something you're considering?
Well, we want to have a post office that works well and doesn't lose massive amounts of money. And we're thinking about doing that, and it will be a form of a merger, but it'll remain the Postal Service, and I think it'll operate a lot better than it has been over the years. It's been just a tremendous loser for this country. Tremendous amounts of money being lost, and we think we can do something that will be very good and keep it a very similar way, but whether it's a merger or just using some of the very talented people that we have elsewhere so it doesn't lose so much. It's losing a tremendous amount of money.
What a disgusting piece of shit who will burn in fucking hell. Who will burn in hell for eternity. The butcherer of Libya and Syria and Yemen, Barack Obama is. That every goddamn time he's campaigning for somebody else, if you're not voting for the person who he wants you to vote for, his answer is that's because you're a terrible person. Every goddamn time. If you don't support Hillary Clinton, it's because you're a sexist. If you don't support Kamala Harris, it's because you're a sexist. Listen, motherfucker, this country elected you twice. The first time by a landslide. And you have the nerve to turn around and act like this country is some white supremacist country. You two are worth over $100 million. You are amongst the most privileged people in our society. The only thing Barack or Michelle should ever say about America is what a great country we've been to them. Screw those people, man. You know.
All right, this one is, I'm going to give you this quote. Communism only works in heaven where they don't need it, and in hell where they've already got it. Apparently, most people think it's Ronald Reagan, but apparently it is a Canadian humorist and writer, Stephen Leacock, back in 1935. But regardless, the point is accurate. This is something that I haven't ever given up on discussing with people. It just tells me right off the bat, they've never opened a dictionary. The swastika is associated with a party called the National Socialist Party. The hammer and sickle is associated with a defunct nation state, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. They're both socialists. And they got together and had a baby. And that baby is the corrupted Democrat Party of today. That's why so many people have left the Democrat Party. That's why President Trump, a former Democrat, has his cabinet consisting of a significant portion of former Democrats who were big stars. Tulsi Gabbard ran for the nomination of the Democrat Party back in 2020. It was her who called out Kamala Harris for all of the bad things that she had done. And she didn't list all of them, just, the refusing to let somebody off of death row who had been wrongfully convicted, using prison labor as a slave firefighting force. Those are just two that are important and worth mentioning. But the point is, regardless of how you look at it, socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work. And who better to tell you than former President Dwight D. Eisenhower? I like Ike, you like Ike, we like Ike, everybody's voting Ike. That little slogan. Anyway, apparently he got a massive amount of deportations done back during his tenure as president back in the 50s with 750 federal agents. Keep that in mind. Right now, President Trump is slashing the bloated bureaucratic state, bureaucracy. We don't live in this isn't a democracy. This is a bureaucracy. And he's slashing it. Hopefully we get to a point where we're back to 750 federal agents, preferably less.
You were graded by the United States people and they don't use your service anymore. You bankrupt.
That is not true.
You
That is
bankrupt
not
us
true,
through
sir.
your
My package
reputation
business is
only.
growing.
Through your
Our business
reputation,
is growing.
you are responsible for the fall of the Postal Service
No,
and the
this
lack of accountability.
This Congress is responsible for
doesn't-
all the Postal
oh, so it's
Service. I am
Congress's-
trying to fix
On your
the Postal
watch,
Service.
with all the AI.
Before my watch, the same stuff
With
happened.
all
first.
the AI, with all the computer systems, you're worse than if I took
You're
a
talking
horse
to yourself
and picked up the mail and delivered it 2 miles down the road. That's you. I hope you got that on camera. This is the response that the Postmaster just gave Congress when he doesn't like what he hears. Literally covered his ears and gave himself the grade of A. And with that, sir, I rest.
Good.
And the fun doesn't stop here. You have 60 Minutes that and other news outlets. Oh, the poor federal employees. No. All right. First off, Post Office is a quasi-governmental private, quasi-governmental private entity, meaning it is a private entity that is essentially it's directed by Congress to deliver the mail to a monopoly to have power over it. But it's not a true monopoly. It's just, in order to get congressional funding and support and all this nonsense, there's certain hoops they have to jump through. But the fact that this grown adult is covering his ears, we have we have adult children running everything. I have another clip here coming up that that Matt Van Swol, who documents a lot of what's going on in North Carolina, shared from Liz Churchill, and it's very important to keep to remember with all of these people getting the axe. There is no reason to have any sympathy for any one of them. Each and every one of them deserves to be fired. And then, as Jeremy from the Quartering states, if your cuts are too deep, you hire the good performers back. Yeah, they might be a little bit bitter, but you cut. Kevin O'Leary even said, you cut deeper because, you can't keep cutting, whittling it away piece by piece. Then you just develop an unhealthy work atmosphere. Everybody's looking around wondering when the next grenade's going to go off. So this is an example of why these people deserve to be axed, terminated, and to not have sympathy for them. If they truly are a quality employee, they're going to recover. There was no sympathy for the people that were displaced from any of the pipelines or gas, the oil industry issues being shut down by Biden's Green New Deal. Yeah, that devastated many. Then you hear about families that were decimated, destroyed financially, small businesses from the COVID nonsense while Bezos got rich. And every member of Congress at that time, if they weren't already, became a multimillionaire. Look into it.
So I would call, probably the person I called most was the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Massachusetts. She worked for a Republican governor just to, but when she was like, "Are you going to let them have professional football?" And I was like, "Nope." And she's like, "Okay, neither are we." It was like conversations like that. So, or I'd be like, "So when are you going to think about lightening up a mess?" They're like, "Next Monday." I'm like, "Okay, next Monday."
And this image is a breakdown that was shared by Terrence Popp the other day. Nancy Pelosi's annual salary, $223,000, but she has a net worth of $202 million. Chuck Schumer, annual salary, $210,000, net worth $75 million. Elizabeth Warren, Annual salary, $285,000. 65 million net worth. Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch. Annual salary, $200,000. Net worth, $95 million. Mitt Romney, $174,000. Net worth, $300 million. Kevin Hearn, $174,000, $100,000, $361 million. Dan Goldman, the guy who can't say no to a frickin' news camera, $174,000, $253 million. Mark Warner, $174,000, $215 million. Michael McCall, $174,000, $200 million. How do you make so many millions off of a government salary?